Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this episode I will be deploying a VMware vCenter Server Appliance version 6.7.0. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you like the video, please remember to hit the like button. Alright, so to kick things off, first thing I'm going to do is update the DNS on my local computer. We're not going to use these DNS servers anymore. 10.0.31.11. And bring in a command prompt to just test NS lookup, and we have success. What we're going to do before we kick off the vCenter installation is create our DNS entries. So I'm going to create HQVH1 10.0.51 to 11. And then we're going to kick off HQVCA and 10.0.51 to 21. And then we're going to minimize our server and test to make sure those work. And that works. So let's see if we can ping it. And we can ping it. Alright, and we can look that up. And since I'm here, let's just create HQFW1 for Firewall 10.0.11.21, and the switch HQSW1 10.11.11. Alright, so we're good with this for now, so we can close out of this, sign out, and let's jump into the server and let's update the DNS information for the host. There we go. So we're going to change this to SECNetwork.org, and our primary DNS is going to be 10.0.31.11. Okay, and again, since we're already in the firewall, we can update the DNS servers here as well. Okay, now we'll commit that. Let that run in the background. Alright, so I'm going to close out of all of the systems and pause the video for a few minutes. Alright, so in order to complete the installation of vCenter, I'm going to move the management laptop to the server network, and once that is complete, I will start the installation. Alright, so I was able to change the port, and now we have to update the IP address. So we are on the 51 network now. And we can confirm network connectivity by just doing an NS lookup and seeing if HQVH1 resolves, which it does. So we are good on the network side. So I've already dragged over, I've already mounted the VCSA ISO, and then I'm going to go into the UI installer directory, and then the 132, and then I'm going to scroll down to the installer and drag that over here. Alright, so it looks like we're able to continue, so we'll hit continue. Okay, so we're going to hit next. We're going to synchronize time with ESXi host. We're going to leave SSH access disabled. We're going to set this to secnet.local, and we're going to generate a password from our password database. All right, and paste that password in. Hit next. We're going to opt out of joining the customer experience, hit next, and finish. We're going to click OK, and we will speed up the footage until this part is complete. Okay, so it looks like our setup is successful, so let's go ahead and pull up vCenter. Alright, so what I'm going to do is create a rule for Active Directory traffic. So I'm going to call it, actually what I'm going to do is clone this from the DNS rule. And then I'm going to call this Active Directory. So I'm going to leave the defaults for source. I'm going to leave the defaults for destination. And I'm going to add a few applications. First up is going to be Active Directory. Next up, I'm going to add Kerberos. Next, I'm going to add LDAP. Next, I'm going to add MSDS, SMB. Next, I'm going to add MSNet Logon. MSWMI. NTP. RPC. NetBIOS. SS. NetBIOS. DG. And NetBIOS. NS. And DNS. Okay. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to click commit. And we'll be back after the commit. And it looks like our commit has been successful. Alright, we're going to log in with administrator at secnet.local. And I'm going to grab the password we saved for that and log in. Alright, I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to reset these back to green and see if they come back. Alright, so we're going to start off by creating a data center. I'm going to call this data center SECNET. Alright, and now we're going to join the first host into here. We're going to call this hqvh1.secnetwork.org. Hit next. Type in our username and password. Okay, we're going to accept our certificate. And we're going to click next. We'll stick on the evaluation license for a little bit. I'm going to leave lockdown mode disabled. We're going to put it in the data center that we created. Click finished. And wait for our host to join, which it's done. Alright, so now we can see the two virtual machines that we provisioned. Okay, so maybe I will add in some licensing under configure licensing. Let's assign a license. Let's do new license. Let's go grab our license key. Okay, so now both vCenter and our hosts are licensed. So next up, we're going to join the appliance to the Active Directory domain. Okay, so it looks like that took. The appliance needs to be rebooted. So we'll jump over into hosting clusters and RVCA and go ahead and restart the guest. Okay, so vCenter appears to be back online and still initializing. Alright, so now let's go ahead and log in. And let's jump back over here. Let's go to configurations and just verify that this is still good. So now I'm going to add an identity source. then click add. And I'm going to set as default. Okay, so what I'm going to do is open up in a new tab, HQVCA, and attempt to log in with my domain account. Alright, so it looks like my account was able to authenticate, but then it doesn't have permissions. So what I'm going to do is actually what I'm going to do is, instead of adding domain administrators, I'm going to create a group. Administrators. Or virtual admins. Virtual admins is fine. Alright, click OK. And then I'm going to add my administrator account and click OK. Alright, so now I should be able to jump here and search for virtual admins and save. All right, good. Perfect. Okay, so now that that is correct, I want to jump back over to here and try and log in again. And hopefully this time I have administrative privileges. Perfect. Okay, so next up, I'm going to create a new service account. And I'm going to call this service svc-auto join. And I'm going to copy that over here. Click next, and then I'm going to generate a password. And because this is a service account, I'm going to set password cannot be changed and never expires. Alright, and I do believe that the minimum level of access this account needs is going to be account operations. Let's just double check. And so what account operations is going to let us do is use this account to auto join servers to the domain. So let's jump out of here. So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to go into VM customization specifications. And I'm going to create a new customization, and this is for Windows Server 2019 standard. this is going to be for Windows, and we are going to want to generate a new security identity for each system we build. So I'm going to click Next. So for the owner, I'm going to put SECNET for both, and then click Next. So because I want to use uppercase characters for the VM names, I'm going to use the enter and name during the deploy wizard, and then click Next. Product key is going to be per seat, and I'm going to have to grab the product key later. Yep. And for the password, alright, and then I'm going to allow this to automatically log in once. And then I'm going to Eastern Time, click Next. I will set up a temporary DHCP server. We're going to join the domain, and the domain will be secnetwork.org, and we're going to use the service account and the password that we set up. And finish. Alright, so I'm going to exit out of here. So sign out and jump back over to here. So before I kick off this, let's go back into the firewall. Let's go into network, set up a quick DHCP server, and this is going to be on 51. We're going to set this to ping, and we'll time out after, let's say, 4 hours. And we're going to use 10.0 51.2 41 through 10.0 51.2 45. Let's do 249. Alright, for the options, the gateway is going to be 10.0 51.1 255 255 255.0. For the subnet mask, DNS is going to be 10.0 31 11, and eventually it'll be 10.0 31 12 for the secondary DNS. I will add in the suffix of secnetwork.org and click OK. Alright, so then I'm going to jump back over to policies, security. So I'm going to create a rule right here. For DHCP, this will be an intra-zone rule for the serve network. Our source address is going to be 10.051.0/24, and the destination will be 10.051.1, which is our firewall. Our application will be DHCP. And we'll leave application defaults. And I'm going to create a rule below this. It's also going to be an intro zone rule. This is so that the SECNET SRV firewall can ping that network. So the rule we're going to create is from 10.051.1. Destination will be 10.051.0/24, and the application will be ping. And we'll leave the defaults and commit this. And I'll be back as soon as the commit is complete. What I want to do is create a new virtual machine. We'll call this Windows Server 2019 Standard Template. Click Next. Click Next. Next. Continue. And we'll do 2016 or later. Click Next. And we'll do 2 CPUs, 4 gigs of RAM, and by standard 100 gigs for the operating system. We will drop this on, we'll use the server network for the time being. We're going to delete our USB controller. For now, this will be joined to the ISO image for 2019. Click OK, and we're going to connect that. Click Next and finish. Okay, so I am... Alright, so since we've recently deployed a Windows server, I'm going to skip this part in the video, and we will jump to the next topic.